in the past 2 days, I have talked to 2 people individually, they weren't in the same place, that said that they've always thought about doing yoga, but they're so tight that they can't even get into any of the postures, so they get discouraged. And every time they tell a yoga teacher that they can't touch their toes or they're too inflexible to do yoga, the yoga teacher's response is just, then you need yoga. So it's this endless cycle of not knowing where to begin. Once you're in the class, feeling frustrated and not being able to get to the point where you can actually feel a sensation of a posture to know if it's hurting or hindering your body. So I'm like, we gotta take this back a step and just start to learn how to tune in to what feels good and what doesn't. And that's something that we can do at home, we can do it in private. And that way, when you do decide to go to a class or maybe do stretching with a friend, you have that self-efficacy that you know your body better than anyone in the room, and then you're more comfortable to modify for anything that you need for yourself, right? Okay, cool. So let's go ahead. I'm just gonna show you a couple of stretches that you can do anytime. Great before a yoga class, great before exercise, great when you wake up in the morning, great when you're stressed and need a break in the day, especially if you work from home. Look at this little light on my head, I'm like an angel. To just reset your body and tune in. So the first one is just gonna have you come onto your feet and put a little bit of space in between your feet, a little bit wider than your hips. So we carry energy in our hips, not just from today, but weeks and months past. And we also carry emotion in our hips. So things can be stuck there for years. It's part of the reason that dancing feels so good, some of that somatic movement. So what we're gonna do is just put a little bend in our knees so that we're not putting any tension on our lower back, and push our hips over to one side. Take one free hand, push it right into your hip, right on top of that hip bone, and then reach the other arm over. You can keep a bend in it for some control, or really stretch that arm, extend it, and get that side opening stretch. As you take a deep breath in, this is expanding the tiny muscles under your rib cage. And as you exhale, you can start to pull the muscles of your abdomen in, so you can start to tune into what it feels like to engage your core. Then on an inhale, I'm gonna take my hips and I'm gonna push them into my hand until I'm standing up straight, so that I'm not using any stress in my back to come back to stand. Same thing on the other side. Whenever you go into one of these postures, you're gonna wanna breathe about 10 times, deep breath in, and exhale out. That's slow, so you can almost see the abdomen engaging, or about 20 to 30 seconds. So you could do that maybe 2 or 3 times on each side. Bring yourself back to center. Again, I'm pushing with my hips. And the second one, feet out a little bit wider, bend into the knees, push your bum back, and I'm even pushing my weight into my heels. I'm wiggling my toes on the ground. I'm gonna take one hand or forearm, drop it down, other arm up to the sky. Again, you can bend the arm, it will give you a little bit more control. And if I'm comfortable, I'm just pushing over. So now I'm actually getting more of a stretch, not just along the side, but along my back as well. This is great if you work from home. And over to the other side. So when I move to the other side, I'm keeping my body forward. Again, I don't want to put any extra stress on my back or make any movements that my body's not used to. And then back up. One more that I really love is to take one foot, step it in front of the other and cross it over. So it looks like this. Push that heel down. And now breathe in, hands can come up. Eyes are gonna stay open. Exhale, push your hips back again. And just drop your arms down. This one's really good for if you have any sciatic nerve pain. And one of the people I was just talking to, I was telling them, you don't even need to drop your head all the way. You don't want to risk any lightheadedness when you're just getting comfortable in these movements. You just want to feel your shoulders, your chest, your arms. Use the magic of gravity to pull down. So I'm feeling this behind my legs, up into my lower back, And if I push with my hands just a little bit, I even feel it in my upper back. As I come up, I always bend my knees and I roll up. And of course, the other side as well. It's a good rule of thumb when you want to let go, you exhale, drop that down. And when you're coming back to your center, filling the body with energy again, inhale. So I kept that one a little bit short, but you get the idea. So I want to show you one more. Again, this one's really great if you have energy caught in your hips, if you have any tightness in your hip flexor, if you sit so often that you feel like it's really locked up in this space. You're gonna have anything behind you. It can be a step stool, I'm using an ottoman, a chair, and you're just gonna lift one foot up and let it rest. Even toenails are down in that space. And you're gonna hold it there. You can hold on to something. We're not gonna work on balance and flexibility at the same time. Our whole goal is to release some of the energy from the body here. If you're comfortable, you could hold on to your foot. But if that's not in your range today, you can find where you wanna be. You wanna feel sensation where the thigh meets the body, right? So I'm gonna need a little bit more. I'm gonna just drop a pillow down. You could use anything, blankets, books, whatever you have around. Maybe one more. And now I am starting to feel that stretch. So again, I'll inhale, exhale, pulling the navel in a little bit, getting a little of that abdominal, what's the word? Abdominal engagement. And then just gently pressing my hips forward. If you don't feel anything, that means you need to have that foot a little higher. One thing I always remind people in my yoga classes is that more than you listen to me, listen to your body. If you look to next to you, maybe someone is touching their toes, but they're reaching for the exact sensation that you're reaching for. So you might be able to get to that sensation by reaching to your thighs. It takes them to reach all the way down to their toes to feel the same thing. The more that you listen to your body, the more that you can start to find movements that not only benefit you physically, but benefit you mentally and emotionally as well. My favorite muscle for us to focus on is always the muscles around our heart. So together, let's take a deep breath in, open up our arms, stretching through the heart, a little bit vulnerable. Exhale here. If you're all right, keep pushing the backs of your hands towards one another. Inhale. Exhale. And one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Go ahead, bring those hands forward. Or from my heart to yours, from where the light in me sees the light in you. Thank you for joining me today. If there's anywhere on your body that is tight or any yoga postures that you have a question about, let me know, because I do think we should break this down and make it more accessible to everyone.